Hi, I'm Lois Beres at KZGN-TV, and I am privileged today to have George Washington, Martha Washington, and Betsy Ross with me, as well as their instructor, Mrs. Weaver. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about what they're doing here. And we have some other characters, but we'll have to get to them in a little bit. So what are you guys doing? What is this group?
We're called CHER, which is CHER for Christian Home Educators of Ridgecrest. And we have a drama group for junior high and high school. And our June play, the senior high play, which is June 4th, 5th, and 6th, will be presenting a new work, which is called George Washington, the Unyielding Hero.
Oh, so these guys are all going to be in that play then?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's great. And you're in character, so you are living, where are you living as the character of George Washington?
Character of George Washington, well, the timeline would be, what year is it? 17.
It runs from about 1760-ish through 1788 when he was done being president.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you started, he started as basically a farmer or something.
He started as a surveyor, and the first scene in the play actually is when he's serving as a British captain, and it's the Battle of Monongahela.
Okay, and so you're in that then, in
Yes.
that battle. As what was your rank? What year?
My rank, I was an officer.
All right. And in the British Army?
Yes, in the British Army at this point.
All right. And then this is your lady, Martha Washington. And were you married at that time?
At that time, no, we were not.
Okay, but you are now. So this is great. I'm going to give you their real names here in a minute, but right now I think the character is more appropriate. So, Martha, you are living at Mount Vernon, is that correct? Or
Yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you supported him through all these things that he went through?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh, that was been hard. You have to be at home and he's off doing all this.
Yes, it was, but I did go and visit him quite often.
Did you really?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Camp followers. Did you go with the camp people?
Yes,
or?
I would go visit him and then go back home for a while to take care of the plantation, but I was happiest when I was with him.
Oh, great. And your friend here is Betsy. And you were at what point in your life when all this was going on?
In the play, you see me after the Constitutional Convention, so after they've signed the Constitution, and I am an older lady then.
Okay. And that's when you made the flag?
I do believe so.
You do believe so? Okay. I think so too, but I'm not real sure. That's great. I just trying to figure out a timeline where you guys all fit. So you started out in the British, then you went against them, or for freedom, for America. You went the mic back.
Yes, I did, but for a short time, I did not serve on either side. I spent time at Mount Vernon running it. But then when the revolution began, they called upon me to lead.
Okay. And you had the background with the British
Yes.
prior, and then you were ready to go. How did you decide that this was the cause that you wanted to?
Well, the British Army treated us as if we were beneath them, and the tyrannical rule of Britain became too much for many of the people. So, overall, though, it was the right thing to do.
And you put your leadership skills toward that.
Yes.
Did you have a lot of people that went with you? I mean, a lot of folks that were behind you in that regard?
Yes, many joined me in the cause, many who served with me previously.
Oh, okay. And as British soldiers?
Some of them, yes.
Oh, and then some just people that came from the community.
Yes.
Was it just really difficult to get people to go together, maybe to get the Constitution rolling and all that? Or?
It was quite the challenge, yes.
I would imagine. So how did that get started? How did he get the Constitution going?
Well, you could discuss your conversation with Martha about going to the Constitutional Convention.
Do that. That's great.
You were so excited, were you not?
Oh, yes.
Lots of things to do. Oh.
Not really, actually. I wasn't wanting to go to the convention.
You did not want to go?
No.
And she want you to go?
Well, I think I knew that he would because he always really wanted to help his country, and so I think I always knew that he would end up going. But
So you sort of supported him, whatever his decision was?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And then you went to the convention?
Yes.
And that must have been an extreme, I don't know, difficult position to be in when you're sort of British citizens and sort of not.
Yes, the convention was quite a trying time for us all, actually.
I would
There are
think
many
so.
things that we couldn't agree upon, but overall we did manage to take and make it.
That's thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay. And you didn't go to the
No,
convention?
I stayed home.
You stayed at home. And the convention was where?
Convention was where? It was held in Philadelphia, was it not?
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So you had quite a ways to go. And on horseback, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Wow. Think about that. At the time, it's so easy for us to hop in a car now and go. And think about you guys when you were back and jump on the horse, and it wasn't that quick. So you had things you had to do. So you guys have been practicing this for a long time. Is this a good learning experience for you? Do you want to say something about that?
You definitely learn a lot about how everything came to be, and it makes you very thankful.
Exactly. I like that. Yeah. Because it's something that you don't, on an ongoing basis, Americans don't sit back and think about that. But where you guys have this particular character in mind, then you have to think about it. You have to go for it. See, I want to just quickly tell your, what do you call it, modern names. What is your name?
My name is Nick.
Nick. And you are Holly?
Holly, yes.
And you are?
I'm Abby.
Abby. Okay. We're going to go to a break in just a minute, but I want you guys to know how great this looks, and I'm so proud of you for doing this. But we have, we've got some other characters we're going to bring out, and we'll bring all of them back in a little bit. But in the meantime, we're going to go to a break. But I want to tell you thank you for bringing these kids, because this is amazing, and it's so good for them and so good for all of us to hear that. So I really appreciate it. So we're going to go to a break now. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, and stay with us. We're going to hear some more about the American Revolution. Okay.
So we're on a break?
We are back. You're back with Lois Beres, George Washington, General Knox, and Mrs. Weaver. And you were going to tell me about the war and some of the things that you did in the war.
Yes, I was. Well, first off, should we talk about the winter at Valley Forge?
That would
Sounds
be good.
good.
You were you there with him?
Yes,
at
I
Valley
was with
Forge?
him.
Okay, excellent. You want to tell us a little bit about your part there?
I took place, I was amongst the war. He took, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was first in the military under General Ward, and then General
in the
Washington.
American military?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
American. I was not part of the British.
Okay. Okay.
And General Washington took over after that, and I was then volunteered under the General Grenadier Corps, the Grenadier Corps.
It's hard to remember all that. Yeah.
And I was helping with artillery and
Something about heavy artillery too, wasn't
Yes,
it?
heavy
that you did?
artillery.
Yeah, because I read something about that you were kind of a expert in that area.
yes, that became one of my main interests as I grew older
Okay.
and joined the military.
And then you used him with his expertise to lead that part of your war effort.
Yes, he was in charge of all the heavy artillery in the war.
Okay. And were you there at Valley Forge?
Yes.
And
I
you
was.
were also.
Yes.
What an ordeal that must have been What kind of temperatures, what kind of weather did you have there?
It was quite a trying time there.
I
The
think
weather
so.
was very bleak.
That's kind of a understatement, I think. It was
Yes.
cold and freezing, wasn't it?
Very, very
Many,
damp.
And
many
did you
men
have
died.
food?
No.
Not a
Minimal.
lot for all
Very
your
minimal.
troops, and you had to lead your troops
Yes.
with very little food and not a lot of coats and stuff
Not
like that.
Very, very ill-equipped for the
For a
atmosphere
winter.
we were in. Yes.
Right.
Very.
Wow. And how did that finally, how'd you get out of that? Just weathered it out?
We weathered it out, but mostly the reason that we made it was because of our resolve to just keep moving forward and to keep on surviving for our cause.
That's what we need today, is people that will keep
Yes.
that survival instinct going, and you guys definitely had it. So how did you train people on heavy artillery? Did you have all that equipment? Or
Equipment-wise, we were fairly equipped with what we needed.
What you stole?
What we stole from other, with what we stole
Mrs.
from
Weaver
other
knows that.
conquered
well, that was
forts.
good though, because then you needed it. So
Yes.
it's a survival thing, like General Washington said. You survived.
Retrieved a lot of our artillery from Four Valley Forge from Fort Ticonderoga after it was taken over.
You Americans took it from
The British.
British.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I had many, sure, quite the precise amount of men. I had about 50, close to 60 cannons I had to
Wow.
take over back to where General Washington needed it.
How did you move them? You pull them with horses?
I had ox pulling by sled.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah, I had forgot it was winter. So yeah,
Yeah.
you could pull them over that
it
snow.
was, some of the rivers weren't quite frozen over as we needed, so it was difficult getting them around different obstacles.
I
But
can see that.
we got what we needed.
That's awesome. That's really good. And you had him in your plan so that he was where you needed him to be
Yes.
in your whole big picture thing.
Mm.
So had you decided to use all that heavy artillery before you got it? Did you need it? I mean, how was your plan set up?
Part of the reason we took the fort was because of its heavy artillery. We realized that would take and help further our cause along, and yeah.
That was good. You had to do that as a military person to get
Yes.
your staffs, what's the word, equipped. Yeah, I want
Yes.
to get it. Well, this is very interesting. So where were you from, General Knox?
I am originally from, to be honest, I did not find that direct information. I was born in 1750, and after the war I settled down in Massachusetts. I'm not sure if that's where I am originally from, though.
Okay. But
So-
you were born in America?
Yes.
Okay. And you also?
Yes.
Okay. So we had quite a few who weren't born in America. Didn't you have some that were on your team, so to speak, that
Yes.
weren't American citizens? Well, I guess citizens is not the word
They
yet,
weren't- yeah,
because
they
there
were-
was
they
no
were British citizens.
They were still all British citizens.
yeah.
So what part of the play brings that out? Do you have in your
Well, you could talk about your drill master. He's definitely not British citizenry.
Okay, tell me about him.
Yes, we have a Prussian drill master, General
Prussian.
Prussian,
Ah.
which was what Germans were called back then. What is his name? His full name is
Frederick. Full name is
Frederick
Just give-
Ludolf.
beyond my
Grund.
comprehension.
That's okay. His drill master did what?
Drill master, he was in charge of training the men because many of them weren't really well taught in how to use a weapon. So he was hired by Congress to help us take and train the men better to fight more as a team.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. And then your men were part of that training also. is
Yes.
that right?
Once von Steuben arrived, Yes,
Yeah.
that's his name.
That's the name. You got it.
Basic is Frederick von Steuben.
Okay. And the Prussian
Um,
guy. And then once
yes.
he arrived, you.
Once I helped train the men, but I mainly focused on training the men for the artillery, who were going to help with the artillery.
Okay,
That's what I focused on.
Von Steuben trained all your people? I mean, infantry and everybody, or?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Well, it's just amazing to me how, without mass communication, how you got your armies together to start with, and then how you communicated with the people at the time that you needed more armies. How did you do that? Was there?
It was quite complicated. He actually had a few other officers under his command, and he would show them what to do, and they would show their men.
Okay,
But-
just pass the word.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
But it was also very difficult because he didn't speak English.
That would be difficult. How do you tell an English-speaking person what to do? So, okay, but we're just about ready to go to another break. And we're getting you out of the cold, I hope. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what happens next. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Stay with us. We're going to hear the rest of this story. Okay, we're done. Okay, you are back with Lois, Mrs. Weaver, George Washington, and
Hugh Williamson?
Hugh Williamson, who was a part of the Constitution.
Yes. the
Constitutional Convention.
Constitutional Convention.
Yes. And tell us a little bit about what your part was.
Well,
Did you want to go to it? I mean, were
Yes.
you okay? And did you help?
my,
The
my part
committees,
was
or?
about the states, like the taxes and all that.
Oh, okay, so you worked with the state, the laws that would affect the states
Yes.
more than.
I was
okay.
a representative or a politician from North Carolina.
Politician. Ah,
Yes.
okay. We already had those. Okay, and you were there.
Yes.
Did you want to be there?
Not really. I had already put so much on the line for my country that I wasn't really wanting to risk my reputation if things should go poorly with this convention. Because if it would go bad, the reputation of everyone who was there would kind of be ruined.
I can see that. It could have been tragic for you for the rest
Yes.
of your life with you and Martha and everybody else there that would have been supporting that. What things did you see that might have gone wrong? Did you? What did
Lots
they
of
argue
fist
about?
fights and
Yeah, what was it?
lots of fights and
Lots of fights about
yes, just about the slavery and the taxes and mainly those
And how did those get resolved?
heated debates.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yes.
so you basically duked it out almost.
Almost.
Almost. Okay, and somebody wrote a final constitution, and then it went back to your committees, or how did that work? I think that was the way it was, wasn't
they,
it?
were-
It
they
worked.
made a final, and then it had to go to the states, and the states
And then
had to
each
approve
state
it.
had to ratify it.
Right.
Okay.
But the major turning point, which we didn't have, unfortunately, Franklin ready to go, but Franklin was a pivotal change in the atmosphere. He pretty much called him on the carpet and basically said, you know, we depended on God during the War of Independence, and how do you think you're going to build a nation and not depend on God? And that was the turning point, because up until then they were pretty much going for whatever they could get for their own state.
And it happens today.
Yes,
Still.
the focus was
So-
on themselves and what they could get.
I see.
And, yeah.
Oh, wow. And so you're working for, was your state
North Carolina.
North Carolina, and you were in
Virginia, I was
Virginia.
representing.
And so, not necessarily that you were specifically doing that, but you looked specifically at the Constitution with that in mind, I'm sure, with your state and your home people. So that's probably where the fights came up, because it wouldn't help that state as much as it might help another.
Well, the second, the slavery was a huge issue, and they did fight a lot about that. The other one was states' rights. So, are you going to determine your representation based on your population, or just everybody's going to get an equal vote? And the problem with an equal vote is that the little states could make demands on the big states, and the problem with by population is the large states would rule the small states. And so that's what was so significant about the compromise, was that one house would be run by population for the voice of the people, and the other house, the Senate, would be run by simply everybody got originally just one vote, not two votes like we have today. And so it was an equitable voice for the state.
And it took a long time. How long did it take? Do you remember? And it was months.
It was months. I'm trying off the top of my head. I'm thinking 4 or 5 months, because they tried to make it very secretive. They had to wear badges to go into the room. They sealed the room, so it's July. The room is all sealed tight.
Wow.
They're wearing multiple layers of clothing. So of course, that would make you a little heated anyway.
Yeah.
And they actually put grass out on they laid grass out on the road so the wagons would not disturb them. And they wanted it very secretive so they could express their opinion and it not go out to everybody, so they could have these arguments and it would be kind of quiet. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have those in the play?
I don't have
None
those
of that's
pieces.
in the play?
It's pretty
Okay.
short. I mean, there's 15 scenes. We're trying to get all of his kind of an overall view of Washington from the time when he was a young officer in his early 20s at the Battle of Monongahela till he retires from presidency and gives his farewell address, which is a common document still used in government classes.
Right.
Kind of a father sending to his child, remember all these things and don't do these things and do these things. It's kind
And
of
you've
what
had
it
to
is.
remember all that, get all those,
Yes.
so you can say them out to the
Actually, it was really long. He didn't actually give it publicly. It was in a newspaper. And so we actually parsed it up by different characters because as it was, we took a 6-page thing and condensed it down to 2.
But you got the whole meat of it
But we
in there.
did try. We
That's
did try.
Great. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing this, and it's going to be, when are you going to perform it?
June 4th, 5th, and 6th, and it'll be at RCA
At
Church.
where's that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and is the public invited? or-
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna do the hoopla. We're gonna have him coming down the center aisle in a boat like the scene from Delaware.
Oh, wonderful.
We have a horse that's painted life size for the prayer at Valley Forge. We got cannons and yeah, we're gonna go all
Your
out.
stuff is going, so you're going to get your heavy artillery in there, right? That's great. Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be so exciting.
So-
Is there a cost?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It'll
Okay.
be
And it'll be
$10.
publicized so that people will know that they can get tickets and
Yep.
when it'll be
Yep.
on.
Yep.
And- oh, because I want to see that. This
Yeah.
is going to be awesome. And it's so good for these kids to learn the history behind us and behind your characters, so that you know more about what's going on now as a result of where we came from.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. So you're going to be doing a short show for Republican Women on a week from Friday.
A week from Friday, we're doing 3 scenes out of 15.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
And then is that your only show until June then? Or?
We will probably possibly do maybe a couple other snippets. We'll see. We're talking to different people. So that's all we have on the calendar
I was
right
thinking
now.
about maybe after you do that, maybe after June, maybe we'll have you come back and do a scene for us.
Oh, that'd be
Do the
fun.
whole thing. That would be great, because now we know a little bit about your characters and what you're doing and what you were doing at the time, and I'd love to see it come out so that everybody knows how you fit into the whole big
That's
scheme
right.
of things. So we have, I haven't asked your real name.
My name's Rodney.
Okay, and the other gentleman, I didn't ask his real name.
Oh, that was Austin.
Okay, Austin. I appreciate you guys coming. This is so neat, and I'm so proud of you for doing this, because it's something that needs to be done, I think, more than what we do it now. And you guys are homeschooled, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. And we just need all this out there, and I really, really appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to tell us? We've just got about 20 seconds.
The play is an original work. So the first time it's performed on June 4th, we'll allow it to be actually copyrighted. And
Oh.
so, yeah, because a play has to be performed to be copyrighted.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
I had no idea.
So-
Well, that's remarkable. Thank you very much for coming, all of you wonderful characters, and you beautiful people too. I appreciate it so much. Come back next week and we'll have somebody else. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
What a kiss. Say, I never thought I'd be feeling like this. My heart